Just zhuzhing up my energies a little bit here. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. And I can't play it for too long because I'll get blocked. So I will turn it down and then I'll switch it off and then I might not get into trouble. Apparently Facebook were muting my music. How dare they? So I've got to try and maybe somebody can help me. I'm actually looking for some healing music that is non-copyrighted. So if anybody has any ideas on that, I would be absolutely over the moon. Hello, Janine. You can't keep away from me. You were there this morning. You're there this evening. I hope you're not having internet problems like you were this morning. That was funny. You were popping in and out of class. That was quite interesting. Hi, Karen. I'm going to mention you, Karen. Again, I'll do that a bit later when there's a few more people on here. So at least we know we've got people we can talk to. Hello, Bella. Don't give away my makeup secrets. Bella was watching me earlier on in my bathroom, putting this face on, trying to make myself look a bit more presentable because I've got really dark black eyes at the moment, which is not good. Anyway, how are you all doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And yes, hello, Ian. My lovely man. Janine's back on. Gina Hetherington from my class. Actually, it's really lovely to see so many people that come on these lives. I know last week I was absolutely over the moon. Hello, Anna. The most people that I've had watching my lives has been about just over Alan Booker. Hello, just over 700, and I'm at the moment at 997 or something like that. So I was very excited to see that today. So I think that I'm talking rubbish and blabbering on, but I'm actually not blabbering on at all. What I'm trying to do, and thank you, Anna. What I'm trying to do is to give everybody, Sandra, hello. I'm trying to give everybody an opportunity to get away from everything and just to share some things with me. This is about questions from you if you've got questions. This is not about me doing readings for people. Hello, lovely Sharon. I saw you with your two bubbies and they look gorgeous. So if you've got any questions, please let me know. And that is really, really important. Donna, hello. I'm in hotel quarantine. I'm dying. Okay, I'll talk about that because, yes, it's about energies. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Right, now, don't forget the questions. Please, please, please. Hello, John. And the questions are from you about mediumship, anything spiritual. If I know the answers, I'll give them to you. If I don't, then I won't make them up and I'll try and find out. But I'm sure if I don't know, somebody on here will actually have some answers as well. So let's just see what we can do. So first of all, I want to say a big, big thank you to Karen, who was on last week. Now, I'm not going to do a guest every week because I thought you might like to see me. Haha. But I'm going to do them once a month. And I've got a couple of people lined up and they're going to be just as fun and interesting as Karen was. And it was so beautiful to be able to share with Karen, who I'd worked with or we started training with 30 years ago. I know I only look 21. But 30 years ago, and a lot's happened in that 30 years for both of us. And it's funny because we've both ended up doing mediumship and teaching and getting our awards from the Spiritual National Union in the UK. So even though we haven't had much to do with one another over the years, we followed a parallel path, and then the COVID virus has brought us back together again, which is brilliant. So I've actually been able to catch up with and reignite those friendships with a lot of people because of this. I know I've got to stop saying I am learning, but it's obviously not working. Now, I know, so I've said thank you to Karen. and maybe we'll get her on again at some time. Okay. Now, energies that are flat. Now, somebody just mentioned, a lovely lady there, that, oh, Donna, in hotel quarantine. Now, I am talking to so many people who say, my energies are flat. I'm really low. Hello, Alan. What do I do? How do I get... I'm not blubbering. Thank you, Anna. You're my best friend. So people are talking about this flat energies. I know people in Victoria are really, really struggling. I've got a cousin in Melbourne, and I rang her the other day. And she was absolutely beside herself because, hello, Lisa, because of the virus and being, restricted so much. And it is a very, very unusual, unprecedented situation that we're in. And we do have to make the most of it. Now, hello, Siobhan. It is very difficult. So what do we do? And listen, I'm no different to anybody else. And I've also been feeling flat, and I've also been a little bit under the weather. And even though I'm under the weather, my doctor would be very cross with me right this minute because I'm supposed to be resting. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. And hence the dark circles under my eyes. And I've got a husky voice as well. I don't have the virus. I have asthma. So I'm struggling as well a little bit. Hello there, Rona, from over there in the UK. So what do we do to try and uplift ourselves? It's funny, I went into my local shops today, and I wanted to buy something colourful. And one, there's a lack of products in the shops on the shelves, because I think a lot of those products come from Secrets are safe with me. Thank you, Bella. I love you. One, the products come, or a lot of them come from China, so there's a shortage. But two, the colours are so drab, and also some of the big shops are taking. I will, Ruth. Thank you very much. I think they're taking their old stock that they usually use for sales, and you walk into the shops and it looks like a jumble sale. Everything is dull and drab. I'm probably going to get shot for this, but I am very, very unimpressed with what is in the shops at the moment. So, and the other thing, I did buy a couple of things today, and I got my sizes, came home. One of the things was about 4 sizes too small. So I think they're selling the rubbish, which they put out, you know, when you go to the shops after Christmas and you go to the Boxing Day sales, and what actually is on the shelves. Rubbish, rubbish, rubbish. It's all the stuff that they've not been able to get rid of. And that's what it feels like. The shops are full of that, apart from all the lovely vegetables we're getting, which are Aussie grown veggies if you're in Australia. Then, you know, I don't know. I just found it really hard. So I rummaged through my wardrobe and I thought, I will wear this lovely red flowery dress because it makes me feel good anyway, and put some slap on my face and put my hair on and put some red lipstick on, and it makes me feel $1 million. So that's one thing you can do. Don't go shopping because it's depressing. Leftovers. It is leftovers, Julie, you're right. And that's I don't think that's fair to any of us. But I mean, listen, at the end of the day, they've got a hard job because they can't get the stocks in, and it makes it really, really difficult. Julie is one of my students, by the way, and I went off into the shops again last week and just bumped into her randomly. And because she'd not seen me, you see, Julie, this is how you see me normally. Thank you, Alan. This is how I look. This is how you guys see me. But when Julie saw me, I looked like I'd been dragged through a hedge backwards. So you had a wrong impression that day, Julie. Anyway. I do try and make an effort when I'm doing my work. And for me, it's very important because you don't want to see somebody that is all, you know, drab and greasy hair and whatever. That is not a good impression or a good look at all, and it's not a good look for me. So anyway, I do make an effort because I just love doing this. I really enjoy coming on and talking, even though I'm talking to myself. I know that everybody's out there listening, and I absolutely love that. Bless you, Julie. Anyway, so what can we do? And I was thinking about things that I would would do when I'm a bit under the weather or feeling flat. I love my crystals, and I absolutely love it because I've got crystals all around the house, and my granddaughters call them my rocks, Nanny's rocks, and they go out and find rocks for me, but they're literally rocks. And they always want to take my rocks home because they're so shiny and whatever. Anyway, I would let them, but Mummy says no, they're Nanny's, so they have to leave them here. But crystals are really, really important. One of my lovely friends, Cheryl Payet, Payet, she does a live once a month, I believe it is, on a Sunday about crystals and the properties of crystals. So I've just gone through a couple. So if you need love, and we all need love, we all need that upliftment. So rose quartz is the thing. I've got two great big lumps either side of my bed. They're not doing much good at the moment, but there we are, never mind. That's another thing. If you're studying, tiger's eye. So Bella, you need to get some tiger's eye. Oh, my mama has lovely stuff if you're looking for it. Oh, let me know about that, Bella. So motivation is amethyst. Appetite. Now, I don't mean appetite as in eating. I mean appetite. So that's a new one on me, but I was looking in my crystal Bible earlier on. Calcite is an uplifting stone, but it also helps to cleanse. Red carnelian is really good, and citrine. Now, I normally have handsfuls of rings, but again, my granddaughters were here yesterday and they made me take them all off so they could put them all on, and I've just forgotten to put them back on. Yeah, the only thing about putting rose quartz in your bra is when you get undressed at the end of the night, your rose quartz goes flinging everywhere and you could knock your partner out. So be careful with that one. Okay, now let me have your questions. What questions have you got? How can I help you? What can I help you with? Please just let me know, because I really want to be there for people. I'm trying to get myself comfortable and I can't. So questions. Let me have your questions. Now, most of you know that I'm doing classes, and I absolutely love teaching. I'm so passionate. I don't think passionate is the right word for it. I'll have to look for a better description of teaching for me. So I've always enjoyed every aspect of my mediumship. So the readings, but the readings for me, it gives a lot to people, but you get people who come for the same reasons, and they want to know, am I going to win the lottery? Am I going to get on day shift? Am I going to meet a new man? And to be quite honest, that's not what I do this job for. And that might upset people, but my job as a medium is to connect you to your loved ones. If somebody says that that's what they want to do, then I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm obsessed, am I, Julie? Thank you. I think I'd rather be obsessed about mediumship than obsessed about, something else, or clothes. I'm not obsessed about clothes. So, and the classes for me have become the be all and end all. And I know that I've been told by Spirit that I'm actually going to be 92 when I die, and I'm going to be working till I die, and I'm going to be teaching until I drop. So nothing is going to stop me unless they put me in a little box. And for me, being able to share my skills, my knowledge that I've gained from other teachers as well. I've been so blessed with the teachers that I've had. Hello, everybody coming on. And I've picked up little bits from each teacher and put them together in my own unique package. I haven't pinched anything. I've just morphed it into my own thing. And I try to help people to explore, expand, and to grow their mediumship, whether it's psychic or whether it's mediumship, it doesn't matter, but I like to help them. And I know for a lot of people, this is a great thing for them to explore. Some people come into, how do you regenerate and rejuvenate? I'll write that down. So I rejuvenate and regenerate. Thank you, Gina. My pen's running out, never mind. So I try to, as I said, give people the best that I can give as far as their mediumship is concerned. And a lot of people come into classes not because they want to be a medium, although when they've been doing it for a little while, they suddenly go, actually, this is not such a bad thing after all. Hello, Adam. So, and people come and say, I just want to learn how to do it, which is what happened to me. Your mama is very happy watching her grandbabies. Don't you worry, Sharon. And I when I first started out, I never wanted to be a medium. I was just fascinated by what was being taught at our church, West Wickham. Alan is on here, who now runs West Wickham Church along with his team. But the church was running classes, and I was fascinated by what was on offer. And I went every week, and I learnt my mediumship, psychic, and we had beginners and advanced mediumship, and then we had philosophy and a speaker's class. I just went to all of them, not because I wanted to be a medium, but I was just interested because of the fact that I've been seeing spirits since I was 7 years old. I just wanted to know what all this was about. And before I knew it, I was up on a platform practicing how to do mediumship. And I'd gone from the beginners to the advanced class. And then my teacher said, you need some outside practice. I've probably said this before, but I'm going to repeat it because this is an important part of where I've come from. And I'll never ever forget my teacher at the time, Geraldine, who's still around, and I still thank her every time I speak to her. Forgive probably because I was thrown in at the deep end. Hello, Pat, and great to see you doing so well, Pat. You started in a church and saw spirits from 5. Yeah, well, I was the same. I was 7. And even though I was going to the church and learning, I had been seeing them since I was 7. But at 16, I pushed it away because I was frightened of what was going on. So building confidence. Okay, I'm making a note of all of these, and I'll come to them in a minute. So, yeah, so I was on the platform. Teacher said you need some outside practice. So I thought, well, I can't say no. And she invited me to a service the following Wednesday. I turned up and she didn't. So after several cups of tea and chats, the stewards of the church said, you're going to have to go out and do the service. Now, I was only expecting to do one reading. And as it happened, I walked out, got up on the platform, and I was absolutely horrified because the church was full and there were about 70 people in there. And yeah, her car broke down. You're right, Bella, you know the story. And I remember saying to Spirit, you know, I was so panicked and so frightened. And I said, if you want me to do this work, you're going to have to work with me. And all of this, you know, stop this, stop the pounding. And the chairperson said, over to you, Val. And I haven't looked back since then. And it was a fantastic dem. But what happened was I put my total faith and trust in Spirit. Now, if you're supposed to be doing this work, that is exactly what you do. And that trust and faith will get you through all sorts of things. Listen, I've been through, like you've Pat, you've gone through some really troubled times recently, I know, because I've been following your stuff. But the work that we do with Spirit gives us that strength, that courage, that motivation, that upliftment, the compassion to keep going, the strength to keep going. So what you do as a medium and a teacher is you pass that on to other people as well. And I was saying to my students this week, I want my students to go out and to do what I do. And it's like to pay it forward. If I give to them, they give to them, they give to them, and it just grows and grows and grows. So we are all trying to do a great job. But I did say to them, if I criticize you, it will be constructive criticism. So I'm not giving you a hard time. I just want you to be the best that you can be. And they've all taken that on board. And I would never criticize somebody in a detrimental way, because that's not what this is all about. Okay, so the classes, let me know if you're interested, by the way. Send me a message and I can send you information about the next bunch of classes. But this group of classes, we're doing evidence for 4 weeks. Evidence for 4 weeks, messages for 2 weeks, and then we're going to do some forensic mediumship, which is going to be exciting. And then we have a couple of weeks off and then we're starting back again. But I'm trying to give a really good cross-section of the work that we do. Thank you. So you're saying yes please, Alan. I don't know what you're saying yes please to. That could be anything and you could be in big trouble. Yeah, we miss you too, Bella. Sometimes, you know, people have come on the classes and they've not been able to come back for various reasons, and Bella, for instance, is actually studying, so it's got to put all her time and effort into her university studies. Okay, but let me know if you want information on classes. Just send me an email or put a message on here saying, please, can you send me information on classes? Okay, Alan, I'll know it's to do with the course. Okay, so and what I'm offering is not only teaching. We are very, very lucky, or I am very lucky, because there's so many people out there who are offering so much of themselves, time and space, for free. Now, I really admire that because, you know, I've got a lovely friend who offers a church service and pays for the insurance and the Zoom and the StreamYard or whatever it is at his own cost. And I know that there are so many others. Jan in the UK, she runs Nash, which is New Addington Spiritual Healing, is running 5-6 services or opportunities a week, whether it's classes or services. I know Alan in West Wickham Church, you're doing your bit as well. And you know, don't think that it's a thankless task, because people really, really appreciate what you're doing. So please don't stop. Because the other thing is that I've noticed during the lockdown, the virus, whatever, whether you're on lockdown or not, the offer of the free churches has been an absolute godsend. I know for me, I was doing every day doing something, and then I pulled back and I thought, oh, I miss it, so I've got to go back. So I absolutely love offering my time free. Tomorrow night, Brett Thomas and myself are doing a service online. If anybody's interested, it's advertised on my Facebook page, which is Val Hood, the lady in the red dress page. And we will be doing a service. It's 6:30 p.m. Australia time, which is 9:30 a.m. UK time. So do come along if you get the opportunity. Yeah, it's always great fun to work with Brett, because he's got crazy energies like myself, and we both, you know, bounce off one another and really help each other. So, okay, so there's assessments and all sorts of things that are offered for the students. And I've been very, very blessed, because I've had a wonderful friend of mine who's a tutor at the AFC, Martin Colclough, who has given me his free time, or his time free, to do assessments for my students. So the assessments will continue, but they will be me and another, but we're not sure who that is at the moment. So there's an opportunity for you to progress your mediumship, to make it better. Now, there's so many people that, and I'm sure everybody will agree with me, or a lot of you see mediums on platform and they'll say, oh, I've got a lady here, I think she's your mum, she's got a pink fluffy energy with you, and she sends you her love, I'll move on. Well, that's actually not any confirmation, evidence, or clarification of your mum. I want to know that I've got my mum's still here, so I can't do that. So somebody brought my mum-in-law through today, and I was absolutely blown away by the fact that they said she had very narrow feet and tiny ankles. My mum-in-law only passed 2 months ago, and that was such great evidence. And somebody brought my nan through and said, I've got talcum powder. Oh my goodness me, talcum powder was her thing. And you always knew when Nan was around because you could smell the Johnson's baby powder. Anyway, so that's what we're looking for with the evidence. I need to know that you've got that absolute hit it on the nail. I can't even talk. I haven't had any drinks yet either. Hit it on the nail, hit it on the head with the accurate evidence. Now, okay, there's all well and good bringing through evidence, but what about the love and the emotions and that feeling? So, it is good evidence, Pat, you're right. So I was doing a reading for a lady the other day. Thank you, Janine. It was a great class. We had such fun. Hello, Lenny. We're missing you. Oh, he's thrown me now, Lenny. I can't remember what I was saying. Talking about the classes and what you look for. Oh, well, never mind. I'll come back to that, I'm sure. But we have a lot of fun. And that is very, very, yeah, I know it was hit it on the nail, accurate information. And I can't remember. I've lost the trail. Okay, so what do we look for in a reading? Oh, that's right. Thank you. It was the emotion. Okay, it's the emotion. So you're bringing through, if you're a medium, you're bringing through a loved one who has passed away. Now, they're not floating around on a cloud playing a harp. They're standing right by the side of me, and I am asking them to draw close. I am asking them to make me be able to feel them. That probably wasn't very good grammar, but never mind. I want to feel them. I want to be able to touch them. I want to be able to, oh, something's happened there. I want to be able to smell them, touch them, make them tangible. And I know that for me, that is very, very important. So when you bring somebody through, like I did the other day, I was doing a reading for an older lady who's not long lost her husband. And I hope I'm not repeating myself, but I'm just going to go with what I've got in my head here. And her husband came through, who has passed not that long ago. Her daughter was involved in the reading as well. And the husband came through, and he was a Greek man and was wooing his wife as if he was a teenager in the day, and he was bringing all that wonderful feeling of how you made me feel when we first met, and you were the best person that ever came into my life, and it was just so emotional. The three of us were all bawling our eyes out. It was just incredible. I'm just trying to get something to disappear from my screen here. So it was really, really wonderful and perfect evidence about how he was and how he made her feel. And it was, again, so emotional. And then you bring through the fun. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this last week, but I had this lady for her, her mum came through, and her mum was saying about, she had a nose for smells. And I said, all of a sudden, she's saying she's pulling out all the furniture in the kitchen because there's something hiding. Hello, Lynn, how lovely to see you. There's something that smells off in the kitchen. So she pulled out all the kitchen units and things, and found a dead, dried up frog behind the kitchen. And the lady was going, yeah, I remember that. Anyway, we had a giggle about that. And I said, then she's talking to me about Kermit the Frog, and she's showing me Kermit, you know, where he sings that song, halfway up the stair is a special stair. And I said, your mum's telling me that you used to sit on the stair and sulk just like Kermit. And she said, oh, yes, I did. So those are really important things to bring through, and that absolute wonderful evidence. Now, somebody brought my grandfather through once and said, I've got a push bike, which my grandfather had, but it's got no chain on it. My dad took the chain off the bike because Granddad was falling off the bike because he was too old and had senility and blah, blah. So, but he still took his bike everywhere, but it had no chain on it. Now, isn't that fantastic evidence of somebody that you know and love in the spirit world. But we've got to then attach not only that evidence, but we've got to attach that emotion, that fun, those beautiful fond memories. And I know Sharon's on here, and I was doing a show with Maria Christina a fair few months ago now, and Sharon's mum came through, and Sharon's mum was I remember this, Sharon, she was complimenting her on her hairdo, and Sharon had just changed her hair and mum had only just passed, and she said she didn't always like it this way, but I'm glad she does. So isn't that wonderful? So this is what we're supposed to be doing as a medium. So when people come to you and they say, oh, I want to know the numbers for the lottery, or am I going to move house, like I've said, that doesn't quite cut the biscuit as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, and that's what I'm teaching. And the most important thing as well is responsibility. There is a huge amount of responsibility in what we give out on a daily basis as a medium, because somebody comes to you for a reading and they are, yes, Sharon, somebody comes to you for a reading, and the number of people that I've had who are just on the brink of jumping off a bridge because they are very unhappy, very miserable, and something you say to them could push them or keep them on the bridge. And I know many years ago when I first started, I had 3 young girls came to me in exactly that situation, suicidal, didn't want to be in the world. And those young ladies were not told by me, because it's not about me. I'm just the in-between bit. So Spirit gave them. You see, this is the important thing. It's not about you, the medium. This is what I'm teaching my students at the moment. Get yourself out of the way, on the wall, park yourself so you've got a free vessel for Spirit to be able to use your body, your facilities, faculties, for them to be able to connect through to the person who's sitting in front of you. And those 3 young ladies were given the most wonderful, I'm going to say kick up the bum, but they're both, 3 of them are all still here. And I thank Spirit so much for that, because that was a very, very difficult week for me. But, you know, you end up with things like that. And I love the fact that Spirit did it 3 times. And another thing that they did 3 times was Spirit men slapping me on my backside when I was actually publicly working, and you've never received a nickname from any medium. I know, and you know, sometimes people say to you, oh, what was my nickname, or what was that? And what happens then, I feel, and this is for me, is as soon as somebody asks me a question like that, my energies come back down to earth, and I have to get my energies back up to that link directly with Spirit. It's not about me connecting to the recipient, it's about me connecting to the Spirit person. So you asked, I think it was Gina asked about how do you rejuvenate and regenerate after a reading. I don't need to, because I'm actually on such a high when I finish doing readings, unless I've done 6 back to back, and then I just go and collapse in a heap on my bed. But I actually do ask for lots of help and healing from Spirit, and the most important thing is I say my thank yous to Spirit for all the work that they do with me and all the help that they give me, and I ask them for the strength to keep going. And even in between readings, I do that as well, because for me that is important. Now, I think it was Lisa that asked about confidence. Confidence is a difficult one, because it's about doing this regularly. You can't. Okay, I was having this gripe today. You can't do one workshop and then go out and be a medium and expect to do brilliant things, because it does not work like that. Okay, I've been doing this work for 30 years, and I still, as I've told a lot of you, I still train, I still learn. I'm learning from my students every day. I make notes every class. I add them into my workbook, which becomes evidence and useful information for the students in the future. But I never stopped learning, and even though I've been doing it 30 years, I'm still doing training courses to do with mediumship, because I want to make sure that I'm doing the best that I possibly can, not just for the spirit world, but for my recipients as well. I don't want to fob people off or make it up as I'm going along, and I've seen people do that. And actually, when you watch a medium, you can see when they're connected to spirit and when they're not connected to spirit. And I just throw my hands in the air sometimes, because you know they're making it up as they go along. And I personally would never, ever, ever do that, because that's not the right thing to do. Yeah, grounding, Lenny, it does help you, and going out in nature. Yeah, that's very important when you've finished doing your readings. But the confidence. So confidence is about, the more you do, the better you get. And even then your confidence will go down a bit because you're having a bad day, or you're not feeling 100%. But look at me. I was telling people today, this is a fair few years ago, probably about 2008, 2009. I was doing some theatres, and I had 2 theatres booked back to back in my local theatre in Red Hill in Surrey, and I had sold all the tickets, so it was 100 seats for both nights. I went down with flu like you've never had flu, and I could not believe it. I sent all my prayers to the spirit world and said, I'm not going to let anybody down, and I'm most definitely not going to let you down. You need to help me, please. And I went to bed. I ate the right things. I took lots of rest. I went and did the show, made sure I was dressed like $1 million, because that made me feel better. And I did the show the 2 nights. I came home and crashed in a heap after the first night, and then the same thing after the second night. But I did the work, and it was the funniest, best dems I think I've done. But I know that spirit will never let me down unless I'm doing it wrong. And to be quite honest, I don't want to lose this, because it's my life. It's not a job for me. It is my way of living. It is my way of life. And that's what I like to see. I don't want to see, I see a lot of people, it's all about the dollars, dollars, dollars. Yes, this is my full-time occupation. Excuse me. And I've got to pay my, excuse me while I have a sip of, my throat is a bit scratchy today, so or husky. I think it sounds a bit sexy, but anyway. But I want to make sure that I'm doing this work correctly, and that spirit don't go, oh, well, you made a complete mess of that today. We're just going to take this away from you, and you're not going to be able to do this work again. So yes, Lisa, it is about building up that trust and that faith, doing the work regularly. You cannot, somebody had a copy of my workbook after doing a workshop, and was somebody bubbled her, at the lady up in Queensland, and one of my students rang and said, you'll never guess, she's got your workbook, she's teaching your stuff, and she's only been to one workshop of yours, and she's now teaching mediumship. How irresponsible is that? How irresponsible is that? One, you don't use my stuff unless I say, and it's like the students. I don't let my students go out and work until I tell them they're ready, because I don't want, and it's not about me and ego, because I'm not a person who comes from ego. What it is, yes, plagiarism. What it is I do not want to see you fall or fail. And if you get it wrong when you go out and do it on your own, you will fall and fail, and then what happens? Your confidence goes right down. And I've had that many times myself. I've done a bad dem or a bad reading, I felt, and then you think, oh, am I supposed to be doing this work? And then something happens and it really gives you that kick again, and you're back on track. Yes, no integrity. So responsibility for me is an incredibly important thing. So we have to be responsible to the spirit world, to our recipient, and to ourselves as well, because you're only going to be lying to yourselves if you do it incorrectly. Yeah, and it is respect for spirit, absolutely. And you knew somebody teaching it when they weren't a medium. What? How can you teach anything if you don't have the knowledge of your subject. It doesn't matter what it is or who you are. You cannot teach it unless you know all the nuts and bolts of it yourself. So anyway, I wouldn't dream of going out and teach somebody to do plumbing. I just wouldn't dream of it. I would teach people how to do mediumship, because that's what I do. And even though I'm a musician and used to be a singer, I wouldn't even teach music anymore, although I've been teaching my granddaughters, which is lovely. Anyway. So lots of fun and laughter with the work we do. I've got some notes today, so I wouldn't forget. And when you're doing a reading, this happened with my students today. They were looking at the bush outside, and they got all their information about their reading from what they were looking at. And spirit are very clever. Paul Jacobs says, never underestimate the intelligence of spirit, and spirit will work with you. I've stared at my carpet and the pictures come out of my carpet. I've watched out the window and see a man on a roof doing repair jobs, and all of a sudden I've got a man who was able to do building and repair jobs and climb on roofs. You know, I've said this before about the tree outside here. The tree was relevant because it was a photograph of her under the tree at the last holiday that they had, and the tree was exactly like the one I've got here. So we have to pay attention. They're showing us. They use things that are familiar to us. So they'll bring through lots of people who are on the stage, lots of singers, lots of musicians, because that's my background. That's what I do. Sorry. Nose is itching, spirit's with me. Woohoo! Okay, so one of my students said to me today, I think it was you, Janine, can you teach me how to open up? Now, Janine's been doing it a while and hadn't actually been told how to open up to spirit or close down to spirit. Now, okay, if I want to talk to a friend of mine, I explained it this way today. If I want to talk to a friend of mine who I know is in the next room, I've actually got to go into the next room to talk to her. Otherwise, I'm going to be banging my head against a brick wall or talking muffled through the wall. So if we want to speak to spirit, we've got to invite them in. And I do it simply by opening up my crown chakra, creating a funnel and I'm asking spirit to give me that information, which is funneled down and concentrated at the end of the funnel to me. Okay, and then at the end of the day, I know it's not quite that simple, but that's what I do. I just visualize a funnel and I'm asking spirit to give me that information. And then when I've finished my readings, I close that chakra, the crown chakra. Sorry, no, it's not. Don't close your chakras. Some people say, oh, you've got to close them all down. If you do that, you'll die and you'll stop functioning. So I imagine that, or I tell my students to imagine that you've got a trapdoor, visualize a trapdoor on the top of your head at your crown chakra. When you want to communicate, you open it and create that funnel. And then at the end, when you've finished, you close it and everything is functioning beautifully inside. I'm of the school of thought that physical body, spiritual body have to be in balance. If they're not, we have disease. And I know many years ago I had a situation where I was tired, I was not functioning properly. Somebody said to fire up my fire up my chakras, and I did them one at a time every night for weeks and weeks and weeks, and before I know it, I had that strength, which is really, really good. So that's as simple as that. But you have to open up to spirit, otherwise how are they going to talk to you? You know, you're going to be a closed person and they're going to be around you going, hello, pay attention. So we need to learn how to do that as well. I've already said about that. I've got to share a story. Yesterday, my granddaughters came over, Florence and Elaine, and they're 4 and 2. And they're both, Sharon saw me 10 years ago in Red Hill, and I was the first one, you were the first one to came to. Oh, that's wonderful. And I came to Wimbledon. Yeah, I know. Oh, it's lovely memories of all of those things. Thank you, Sharon. So anyway, beautiful girls came over yesterday because it was mum and dad's wedding anniversary. And it was lovely because they were going to go off and do something and they didn't. They just had a day where they could think without kids going, mum, dad, mum, yeah, rah, rah, you know, as they do. And anyway, the girls came over and they weren't 100%. So we had plans that we were going to bake a cake for mummy and daddy's wedding anniversary. So we walked to the shops and we got the ingredients. They didn't want to bake a cake because they didn't feel up to it. So we went out to play for literally 5 minutes with a little boy outside. Didn't want to do that anymore. So I said, do you want to watch a movie? So we watched Moana and they sat on my lap and cuddled up to me, and even eating dinner. They wouldn't go and sit at the table. The little ones going, no, lap, lap, lap. So I just let them do it. And I was soaking up all of this because it was just so beautiful. And there's a part in Moana, I don't know if anybody's seen it, it's a beautiful film. And isn't it amazing how a lot of these Disney films are so spiritual? They really are very spiritual. And Moana is on the boat. She'd just gone through this horrendous storm. She thought she was going to have to give up and not be able to put this little heart stone back into the to make her island better. That's the best way of doing it or saying it. And all of a sudden, the Grandma Tala, the spirit of Grandma Tala, came, and she was on the end of the boat. And Florence said to me, she said, oh, that's her grandma's spirit. And I said to her, do you know what a spirit is? So we were talking about what a spirit is. And of course, she's just had great grandma pass 2 months ago. And I said, you know, your Nana passed a little while ago. And she said, yeah. I said, well, we're still able to talk to her. And she just looked at me with her big eyes. I love it when you talk to kids because they have these eyes that are so, wow. And and I said, and did you know that's what Nanny does for work? I talk to spirits all the time. She just looked at me as if I was gone crazy. So I know that children are very open to these things. So the more you talk to them, the more accepting they'll be. And then it's not frightening, because some children, I know I was terrified of spirit, but I just think it's lovely to watch those wonderful movies, the Disney movies. There are loads of movies which have got that Tafiti, that's right, to watch those wonderful movies and to be able to get that fantastic message of hope and courage, and you can do anything, because I know she was going, I can't do this, and her grandmother was saying, yes you can. And she gave her, because she came through and talked to her from spirit, she was able to do that. So you never know, I might be nurturing some little budding mediums of the future. I think that's wonderful. So I've already talked about Brett and I tomorrow night on platform. And then, of course, we come to the healing. I am Moana from the island of Tafiti. That's right. And she just goes on. I fell in love with Maui. I want a Maui in my life, please. But he's got to be able to have the tattoos that talk to him as well. I know that's a bit crazy, but yeah, I just think he's such a lovely character in that. A bit cheeky and a bit naughty, but a great character. So I haven't had many questions, although I can see Lynn's put a question. When you work with your guide, you have the symbols which are pertinent to you for your readings. From the fourth chakra up is spiritual, and from the fourth chakra down is physical. The earth star is below the first chakra, which grounds you. The soul star chakra is above the crown, which has the information. That's really useful information, Lynn. Thank you very much. And listen, you know, I don't purport to know everything, and I love it when I learn something new from somebody who I really respect. So Lynn has done a lot of work with, or a lot of spiritual work over the years. So I do have a lot of respect for her, as do a lot of other people here. But at the end of the day, I think the most important thing is we're all doing the best that we can to help as many as we can. And, you know, I mentioned today about the COVID virus and the way people are feeling. Let's send out some healing. Now, I can't play music. I'm still looking for non-copyright music that I can use for healing, because for me, I think that's going to be quite important. If you see things coming out the corner of your eye, is that clairvoyance coming? Not necessarily. It just means that you've got spirit around you, I would say. A lot of people would say, oh, you've probably got something in your eye. But for those of us that believe, I used to see things out of the corner of my eye all the time, and it used to frighten me. And then I got to the point where I used to say, hello. And then I'd say, I know you're there. I'm not sure who you are, but thank you. And then I was recognizing who they were. And that was a lovely, slow process for me to go through, to be able to learn to recognize them and to trust them and to build up no fear. But it was also for them to realize and to recognize that I wasn't frightened of them, because spirit don't want to frighten us. They want to work with us. They want to help us. They want to uplift us, to give that upliftment motivation. You know, it's really important. So your loved ones are around you all the time, whether you know it or not. And, you know, whether it's your dad in spirit that used to give you all that wonderful guidance, why is he not going to still be able to do that? Because he's in spirit. I love it when my dad just pops in and I'm in the middle of trying to fix a tap or something. My dad taught me how to do things like that. So, yes, Ian, I might write something. You're right. I could do it, but I just have to think about it. But yeah, it's wonderful when, as I said, my dad taught me to do all these practical skills, and I'm trying to fix things, and I go, oh, thank you, Dad. And it's just lovely to know that they're there. And I think I've mentioned this before. I'm a big DIY person. I laid wooden floors, you know, floating floors in my house in the UK. I've just finished the last bit where I'd gone around the stairs at the bottom in the hall, and I crept up the stairs, and I felt like an old lady because I was doubled up, you know, all bent and achy. And pictures of my grandparents at the top of the stairs, and I heard my granddad, who was a carpenter when he was here, say, well done. Oh, I just broke down in tears, and I was so thrilled. And he was probably laughing his head off because I cut it in the wrong direction so many times, but I kept going until I succeeded. So that's another thing. Don't give up on anything. Oh yeah, Angela, happy birthday to you. And also happy birthday to Bella's mum, who's 60, coming up very, very shortly. So we're wishing you happy birthday as well. So yes, so spirits, I'm getting distracted. So spirits are around us, and we need to know that. So I'm now going to mention the healing. I know, I think it's frustrating that I can't play that healing song by Michael Jackson, and I just love to be able to belt out the verse myself, or the chorus myself, because hello, Angel, how lovely to see you on here. Very nice, thank you. And you're just as beautiful. So yeah. So spirit directed me to use that song, but I'm going to have to, like Ian said, I think I might have to write something. So if anybody wants to help me to put together a healing song, music, whatever, then I'm asking. I might ask my lovely friends down in of names just jumping out of my head at the moment, but down in South Australia. Anyway. Okay, heal the world. Now, our world is suffering at the moment, and I'm afraid I'm not buying into any of this conspiracy stuff, because I got terribly upset a couple of weeks ago because I got very confused as to what was true, what was not true, what I'm supposed to think, what I'm not supposed to think. Can I think for myself? Can I not think for myself? Have I got to listen to what everybody else is telling me? And I made a decision that I am a free thinker. And I have free will, and I believe what I believe. I know that spirit is around me. I trust that implicitly. I know that we will come out of all of this eventually. What our world is going to look like afterwards, I do not know. But all we can do is to pray that spirit are working with us and that we all work positively. So when I look at these video things that come up, they are so negative. And no, I'm not watching the news anymore either, Bella, but everything is so negative, and we can't. If we do negative, it pulls the energy down. So we've really got to try and keep our energies as high as we possibly can. And you know, even when you're having a bad day, try and think things positive. It is propaganda, yeah. How does looking after oneself in the medical or dietary sense enhance our spiritual abilities? Absolutely. Well, okay, Lenny, let me quickly answer that. If we're eating rubbish, our body puts out rubbish. How do we expect to do good connections to spirit? We need to have a good vibration. So we need to put good food and drink into our body to be able to do that. We need to exercise regularly. We need to stay active. And I must admit, I don't eat junk food. I exercise. I try and do a 2-hour walk, if not every day, every other day. And I put in what I want to come out. So we really have to look after our bodies if we want to do this work. And because we don't want to be sick, because somebody mentioned about, does this stuff drain you? Does this work drain you? It can do if you're not functioning properly. So you make your body the best vessel that you can, and treat your body like a temple. And I try to do that. I slip sometimes, but I do try to do that. Yeah, and lots of praying and lots of sharing and lots of helping of one another. But if you feel down, lift your spirits, whether it's music. Before I start, I'm pointing over here because I've got my music thing here. Before I start doing a live, I play lots of happy music, you know, lively music, and that lifts my spirits. And then I counteract negative thoughts as best I can with positive ones. I bless the fact that I've woken up. You know, sometimes just doing that is a wonderful thing, because some people don't have the benefit of being able to wake up on some days. You know, some people go to sleep and they don't wake up. So if we do wake up in the morning, we should be counting our blessings. We should be counting our blessings for the wonderful people around us, for the homes we live in, for the beautiful food we've got, for the clothes on our back, but also for the people like us, the like-minded people who understand what we do. You know, think about it. In the dark days, you know, people used to, although I suppose they probably got on better than we do. But yeah, gratitude is everything. Being grateful, being appreciative, being thankful for all the little things, you know, the little things. The fact that I can walk on the beach, the fact that I've got clothes in my wardrobe, the fact that I've got food in my belly, and the fact that I sit here in my lovely office, and when I'm working in the daytime, I'm seeing the sky that you're looking at in that picture behind me. So those are the little things that we need to look out for. Now, I know on Facebook you see lots of people who say, please can you send healing, please can you send prayers. I do all of them. I've got a healing book, and I put everybody's name in there, that I if somebody gives me the name of somebody that needs healing, they all go in my little book. So if you've got somebody that needs healing, then please let me know the name and I will put them in my healing book. For me, that is so important. So I want you just to imagine, just do a bit of a meditation, if you like, a quick collective meditation, and that we're all linking arms with every single person who's on here. I don't know how many are on, but every person that is there, we're all linking arms spiritually, okay, because we can't do this physically, so we're doing this spiritually, and we're visualizing, and we're sending out the beautiful healing energy from our heart, from spirit. Okay, so spirit links to our heart. We're sending that out through our left hand. We're sending it right around our world, connecting to every single person on here. every single person that needs healing, every single person in our world that is sick in mind, body, or spirit, and everybody that is governing us, because we've got some absolute idiots who are doing things at the moment, sorry, and they need guidance, and they need to be keeping themselves strong and making the correct decisions, not just for themselves but for everybody else as well. So we're sending that beautiful healing energy out, and I want you to imagine that now we've sent it out to every single person, animal, thing on this planet. We're then just going to expand. Imagine the world, our planet, is our aura, and we're expanding that aura out as far as we can. And that aura is going out to the universes, to the whatever you call it, the solar systems, and we're expanding that beautiful energy. And then we're looking back on our world and all of those solar systems, and we're sending the love, we're sending the healing, we're sending the energy, and we're asking Spirit to bless and heal and help every one of them and every one of us. It's a simple process, and we can do that every morning. I know when I was going through difficulties, I did that every morning and every night, and I still do it every morning when I ask for Spirit to help to heal our world, make this place a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. And I will leave you with that. I've really enjoyed this evening, and it's lovely to get so many wonderful comments from everybody, and I really bless you for those. But keep them coming, because I still watch and read the comments that come throughout the week. As I said, we've got to see if we can beat last week. So it's 997, I think it was, on last week. So yeah, Julie, we'll put your grandma Elizabeth in the healing book as well as every single one of you, because, you know, life isn't always easy, and if we can help each other, and if we can get that bit of healing for ourselves, that makes us stronger to be able to help the next person. So that's what we're going to do. We have a wonderful world, we have wonderful people in our world, and we have wonderful opportunities, and we need to see those, not the other things, not the negative things, not the and I know I'm going to mention again, you know, Victoria is in total lockdown at the moment, and we send so many prayers and blessings for every single person, because it is the most unprecedented situation for any of us to be in. But we will come out the other side, and what you are all doing now is going to help every single one of you and every single one of us. So I will see you next week. I may or may not have a guest, I'm not sure, but yeah, we all love you, Bella. That's true. We all do. But we thank you. And I say we because I was going to just speak on behalf of my spirit team, who work with me so closely. They obviously want me to do what I'm doing. They obviously want me to talk to you. They obviously give me all the ramblings that I can give. But they, you know, even when I'm like today, you know, I'm not 100%. But they not that they make me do it, but they help me to get through it. So I thank you all. I'm sending my love to each one of you, and my love goes out to our whole world. And do you know what? If we can all share and spread our love to, you know, you maybe you can't do it to somebody in South Africa, for instance, that just came to my mind, but we can do it to the people in our close proximity. And if we can do that to the people around us, and they can do it around the people, again, there's that pay it forward, and we will make this world a better place. And be grateful and thankful for all the wonderful people in your lives. I personally think I'm blessed with every single person that, whether I teach them, whether they're friends, whether they're acquaintances, whether it's I've seen them for the first time. But, you know, I am so grateful to be able to do this and to be able to connect to you. So I feel it was a good thing to put the red dress on because it gave me strength and power. So that's another thing that you can do, is look at the colors that you put on every day, because that makes a difference to how you feel, how your mood is, how you how you are motivated. So I'm going to stop there because I think my energies are telling me to stop. But blessings to you all, love to you all, healing to you all, and I'll see you next week. Thank you, thank you, thank you.